this is my little baby. His name is Jasper. He's my little baby hamster. And he just came to say hello. Say hi, Jasper. Hi. He's a little grumpy because he was sleeping. What are we doing today, Jasper? This week is Viewer's Choice. And the viewers chose favorite books and series. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Favorite books and series. Okay, I'm going to go put him away now. So then I can do the books. Say bye. Say bye, Jasper. Goodbye. Okay. So these are all of my favorite books and series of like all time. The books that I just absolutely love. I've reread a few of them. I feel like they are just absolutely exceptional. Everyone should read them. You need to go out and buy these books after you watch this video. And the first one is The Iron King by Julie Cogman. This is a book about a girl who finds out that she is of Fae descent. She's a fairy. Her life is kind of thrown completely out of whack. She falls in love with someone she shouldn't fall in love with, and it's really crazy, and it's so well written, and I remember seeing this everywhere, and like everyone was like, oh my god, you have to read the Iron Fae series, and I finally got around to it, and I absolutely loved it. I read this in like one sitting. I didn't get up for anything. I just read it right through, and yeah. The next book is The Near Witch by Victoria Schwab. I'm surprised by how much I love this book because I definitely love high fantasy. I'm a high fantasy girl, just like Harmony. I thought this book was going to be different from what it was. I thought it was going to be spookier. The whole point is that there's like the legend of the Near Witch. She steals the children at night or something. And I read this a while ago, so I kind of remember, and then this new boy comes to town, and everyone is totally suspicious of him. They think he's the one stealing the children, and the main character, Lexi, she falls in love with him, and all this crazy stuff happens, and it was so different from what I expected. Like, there was a lot of depth to the story. I don't know, it just really surprised me. I really loved it, and it's so well written. Like, the prose are just so ornate. It was awesome. Next one is Under the Never Sky by Veronica Rossi. Oh my god, I read this book this year, and it has honestly become one of my favorite books of all time. Like, it was just that good, and the more I think about it, the more I like it. Because you know how sometimes you read a book, and then you finish it, at first you like it, but then you start thinking, you're like, well, okay, I had that problem with it, and I didn't really like it that much because of this. No, the more I think of this book, the more I absolutely love it. To me, it felt like a mixture between like a dystopian, sci-fi, fantasy, romance. I know that's a lot, but it kind of just embodied all of those. And it's set in a world where everyone kind of lives in this virtual reality. Arya does something and she gets thrown out of that virtual reality and she's thrown into the real world, which would be like where we live, which has kind of gone down the toilet. And there's these dangerous ether storms. It's like electricity times like 1,000. And she meets this boy. And like humanity on the outside has kind of reverted back to like tribes and all that stuff. And she meets a boy, Perry, and they have to help each other because they both want something from each other. And they both need each other to get it. So I'm not gonna spoil anything else, but it was so good. Like, the world was just so well written, and the technology, the characters, Arya and Perry, the romance, everything was so good. You have to read it. If you haven't read it, please go pick it up. You will not regret it. The next one is The Girl in the Steel Corset by Katie Cross. Oh my god, I love this book. So much. I haven't really read that much in the steampunk genre. And this was kind of like my first foray into the scene. I absolutely loved it from like the first chapter. It's set in Victorian England, as most steampunks are. The main character, Finley, she is a total she can hold her own against anyone. There's a bit of like Jekyll and Hyde going on, and I don't want to spoil anything, but she kind of has like a dual nature, and one of them is, it's like the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, one of them is like the nice, easygoing girl, and the other one is the girl that will kick your butt if you get her too mad. And I could not put it down for the life of me. There was absolutely no way I was going to stop reading. The next book is Wondrous Strange by Leslie Livingston, and this is kind of sitting in for the entire series as well. It's a trilogy, actually. It has two things going for it, for me at least. It's a book about theater, and the main character is an actress, and it's also a book about fairies. And I love both of those things, being an actress and a fairy lover. It really is just one of my favorites. It's one of my, like, go-to recommendations for anyone that's looking for a nice paranormal fantasy romance. Because it really has everything. It has a great romance with a great guy, because those are kind of hard to find. Like, he's just an all-around nice guy, and he's loyal. He has, you know, he has his duties, but he makes sure he protects Kelly, which is the main character. And this is also a really beautiful cover. It's really just a great series. I mean, if I were you, just if you haven't read it yet and you're looking for something that you know is going to be really good and you're going to like it, then I definitely recommend Wonder Strange. The next one, and this is also a stand-in for the entire series, is Glass Houses by Rachel Caine, and this is from the Morganville Vampire series. This is my absolute favorite of all time vampire book series ever. Ever, 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 ever. And I really try to stay away from vampires now because it's so overdone and it's like, whatever. But this is just so well written. The characters are fantastic. And there's just, like, there's been, like, 10 books out, and it amazes me how in each of the books there is something new. There's a new problem. There's a new... It never gets old. There's new characters, new everything, and, like, you'd think after a while you get tired of like, reading about them, but you just don't. That's the amazing thing, and I'm always like, okay, I want another book, you know, and it's just kind of... It's actually making me sad that it's gonna come to an end pretty soon, because I think there's only, like, 2 books left to be published. I love how the vampires are actually kind of the stereotypical can't go out in sunlight, stake through the heart, holy water kind of vampires, but it's not cheesy, which is what some authors have problems with. They make it a little bit too cheesy, and Rachel Caine has just... she's hit it out of the ballpark with this series. I really do love it. So that's my video, guys. I know Lauren, who is Wednesday, she did a survey on how you could tell us what we need to improve on, what you like, what you don't like, maybe give us some ideas for videos that you'd like to see in the future. So I'm going to kind of give her a little signal boost, and I'm also going to link it down below. And if you'd like to fill out the survey and help us improve, then by all means, please fill it out. So I will see you guys next week. Bye.